is going on, you guys? It's Necro Eric here, and I'm bringing you this video. It's 2022 in review for pro wrestling. I watched a lot of wrestling in 2022, and I just wanted to bring a video. So, shout out to Independent Wrestling TV, IWTV, ICW No Holds Barred, New Fear City, the one with the skeleton, no ring deathmatch, H2O, Hardcore Hustle, Prestige Wrestling, Limitless Wrestling, Wrestling Open, Beyond Wrestling, Black Label Pro, West Coast Pro, Deadlock Pro on YouTube, mostly is where I watch them, Super Crazy Pro, Bloodstorm Pro, Sean Henderson Productions, or promote, I don't know, SHP. I watched a lot of that. New Texas Pro, C4 up in Canada, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, of course, Jersey Championship Wrestling, JCW, XPW, I did watch some of that bullshit, Pro Wrestling Revolver, which was pretty good, House of Glory, which was not so good, AEW, WWE, Pro Wrestling Grind, Deathmatch Down Under, Expect the Unexpected, which has been excellent, Big Japan, Freedoms, AAA, CMLL a little bit, mostly AAA, and IWRG, and Big Lucha, Mas Lucha, Limitless Underground, Blitzkrieg, Freelance, Action Wrestling, one of my favorites. What else we got? New Japan. We got Cyber Fight Promotions. So we got Pro Wrestling Noah, Ganbare, Tokyo Joshi Pro, DDT Pro, and there's always, of course, Stardom and Marvelous and a few other promotions that I watched over the course of the year. But that's basically the promotions. So we're gonna begin here in Japan. So starting in Japan, we got, the New Japan Cup was alright, but I really enjoyed the Best of the Super Juniors. That's what I remember one of the most. It was really, really good. Lots of great matches. El Fantasmo's last run as a junior was pretty special. So that was worth checking out. Especially his match with Rob Eagles, that specifically. I really enjoyed also El Desperado versus... what was it? El Desperado versus almost everybody. Phantasmo, Taiji Shimori versus Hiromu Takahashi from May 31st was also excellent. El Lindemann, Titan, and the newer Gaijins in Ace Austin, Wheeler Yuta, Alex Zane. They all performed very awesome. They did very well. Clark Connors was must-see. He is looking great. That guy's going to be a freaking star. Wicked Finals with King Hiromu prevailing, winning his record 4th Best of the Super Junior. So that's pretty crazy, following his wins in 2018, 20, and 21. So it's wild. And then we also had the G1 Climax, of course, from New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is the blocks right here. It ended up being a four blocks format this year, which I was not the hugest fan of, because I really prefer the 2-block format, like the N1 Victory had, or like the old G1 style. But it was still a very good tournament nonetheless. There was very good matches all around. I enjoyed there's so many matches on this G1 that was really, really good. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Kenta, like I'm showing right now. Basically every match by Will Ospreay was very, very good. Like Will Ospreay versus Juice on this one, excellent. There was Finlay versus Robinson on July 26th as well, which was ridiculous. It had lots of story as well because of their previous tag team. Naito and a lot of other guys really, like Aaron Hanare. Great. Aaron Hanare looked amazing. Jonah was booked like a machine. He didn't lose the entire tournament. He wasn't pinned the entire tournament, but he lost by like count out and whatever. And he got to pin Okada as well, which was so notable. So Jonah got a huge run in this one. And Okada and Ospreay won their respective. It was like a double block thing. So they actually, it was like you win the semis, then you had to go. Finally, you get to win the whole thing. You had to win 2 to get it. But Okada beat Ospreay, of course, because what else would happen? For his second straight G1 Climax victory and a record 4th crown. So it's pretty cool. It was cool because it's a record. Not cool because I really wanted to see Ospreay or a Gaijin. There hasn't been one. I don't think there's been one since Omega. I don't really remember too much, but I'm gonna say, yeah, that's crazy. And the New Japan's booking has just been a little bit whack in 2022. What are you gonna do, right? We had Cyber Fight Festival in 2022 from the Cyber Fight team, the guys that run Wrestle Universe. One of the most notable, Tokyo Joshi carried this with Shoko Nakajima and Yuka Sakazaki for sure. What was wild here is Nakajima, you can see the photo here, knocked out Endo with the shot. It was crazy. So that led to Kazusa Higuchi's title run, which has been really great. So in a way, it's been pretty good, But Endo's back now, so hopefully he's looking all right and doing good. So what else? All right, so that's that. We're gonna go to Stardom here a little bit. Just want to talk about their 5-star Grand Prix. They go hard. So Stardom's top tier. There's so many matches all year. You could literally just make a list of dozens of really solid matches. Thekla had to pull out due to injury. Was replaced by Momo Kogo. There was a lot of really good matches on this during this tournament alone. It's pretty crazy how consistent Stardom is. But there was literally like a dozen matches from this tournament that'd be worth checking out. Tam Nakano, Julia, Mayu Iwatani, AZM, Suri, Starlight Kid, and so many others did really good during the tournament. It was very well done, as usual. So let's get it. Julia wins over a crazy finals with Tam Nakano. It was pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. She would not be denied her victory. That's pretty dope. Alright, now moving on to the USA portion of this video. I'm going to quickly run through a couple of things that I really loved this year. Companies. We're going to start with Independent Wrestling. AC Mack won the IWTV title on the 21st of January over Alex Shelley, becoming the first openly gay and black world champion. He had a wicked run that was quite a good, they just told a great story with the him winning it, and then the best part is he friggin' held it hostage and took it to the South, and they made a TV show out of it, Uncharted Territory, Southeast First. And honestly, I'm not lying here when I say that almost every one of AC Mack's defenses here were absolutely incredible. He had versus Willow Nightingale, Masha Slamovich, Ashton Star, Alex Kane, Billie Starkz, Marcus Mathers, Mike Bailey, Daniel Makabe, Atticus Cogar, Dom Garrini, Effy, Sonico, Alec Price, and he just had a crazy run with this belt, and it was so entertaining. It was a crazy end of the reign as well. He lost it to the monster Krule at ICW on October 29th. So it's unfortunate that the reign had to end because it was absolutely incredible, and it's definitely one of the highlights of the year for me in terms of 2022. Him just making history and doing what he did. Like, he is so good on the mic. They told such a good story. They built a TV show around it. It was so entertaining. So I was just such a huge fan of that. So amazing, incredible work. Now, speaking of incredible work, ICW No Holds Barred being the standard bearer for the deathmatch wrestling in U.S. in 2022 for sure. From their events in the Hart Ballroom in New Jersey to their deathmatch circus in Maybe, Michigan, it's just the shit. It's like their TW Arena is a vibe. Like it's just unreal vibe there. The variety they provide as well, with the fact they have like 3 different types of shows that they run. Like their regular show here, as you can see on top, the ring ropes are actually chains. So it's called The Chains. So that's pretty wild. And then they, like I was talking about here, this is the TWE Arena. Just an incredible vibe. The Deathmatch Circus. And then the Pit is basically another version of a match they have. So they have the Chains, a regular match. Regular shows are the regular ICW No Holds Barred shows are the Chains. Then they have this Pit show, where it's just like a Fight Club atmosphere, which is amazing. So just love it. And you got to give a shout out to freaking Piss Jug Mike there, I believe, with the Drink the Piss. But and they also had their Pit Fighter. Pit Fighter X is where it's basically like an octagon type cage or total cage lockdown type situation, TNA lockdown, where every match is a cage match. And it's more brawly style. It's just incredible. So that was wicked stuff. Now, GCW as well, we're going to talk about Game Changer Wrestling. They provided such a good quality as well. But speaking of this, hang on a second here. Speaking of this, I just wanted to mention that Hoodfoot wins Battle of the Tough Guys. So he won that. It's like a tournament that they do. It's pretty wicked. ICW No Holds Barred brought in Joker this year. Abdullah Kobayashi. They're doing wicked work with their homegrown stuff as well. Like they had the Wicked Rise to the American Deathmatch Championship of Casey Kirk. They got guys like Akira and others that are just always so consistent, like they're regulars. Akira took a ridiculous headbutt this year, by the way. Unfreaking believable headbutt that I think anybody who's a fan of like stiff headbutts needs to see that. Akira versus Joker from ICW No Holds Barred. Unbelievable. There's Krule. The monster booking of Krule was just amazing. It was just such a well done booking of a monster in pro wrestling I've never seen that in a long time, where a company books a monster that well. Slade, absolute machine. Slade versus York this year was insane. The newer people to ICW as well, Dr. Redacted, MM3, Malcolm Monroe III, and Tommy Vendetta. All of those, they all showed out. Casanova Valentine always. Joel Bateman worked hard, really good, bringing the belt international as well. He worked really hard with that, so that was really nice to see. They did a good job. Okay, I think that's pretty much it from ICW. It was a really good year. Every event was awesome. I don't think they had too many duds over the course of the year, besides maybe non-deathmatch wrestlers doing a deathmatch. But if they're going to do a deathmatch, more power to them. Gotta send them the love, even if they're not deathmatch wrestlers and you'd rather see them in a non-deathmatch. You gotta give them the love for doing a deathmatch. So, can't even say too many bad things about that. Now, in terms of GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, Jersey Championship Wrestling, it was just so good. They provide such a good quality pure wrestling matches as well as deathmatch content in the same program, which is just amazing. They always bring in a lot of international guys and gals from Japan, mostly, and Mexico, Los Magicos, and Drew Parker, and Rini Yamashita, and the dude in blue they brought over for Tournament of Survival. They just did Tournament of Survival. Was really good. Tournament of Survival 7. Excellent. One of the highlights of the year as well would be Hoodfoot versus Slade, where Hoodfoot gets cut up. That was absolutely just ridiculous. What else we got here? Oh yeah, so Tournament of Survival was a double header, which had it was just such a good tournament. Drew Parker wins the tournament. So well done. They had Cage of Survival the next night. And, oh shit. They had Cage of Survival the next night with John Wayne Murdoch and Alex Colon, which was just unbelievable. They had just a wicked, crazy match. And feud stud that they've been building. Just wicked payoff. So, I was really impressed with that. They did a really good job with that. And the Cardona's Vows was one of the funniest and most entertaining things of the whole year as well. Excellent stuff. They basically that was pretty funny. They got screwed over. Maven was the officiating. Nick Gage came in and raised hell, as you would expect. It was it was amazing. So, I do want to say a couple of other things about GCW. Joey Janela's matches this year versus John Wayne Murdoch, Joey Janela versus Mike Bailey, Joey Janela versus Gringo Loco, Joey Janela versus Action Mike Jackson, Joey Janela versus Sawyer Wreck, Joey Janela versus Kevin Blackwood, and Joey Janela versus Drew Parker all this year were excellent matches. For whatever reason, Joey Janela's been on this tear where he has a great match, and then he has a mediocre match, and then he has a wicked match, and then he has a then he has a really good one, and then it's like But no, the one with John Wayne Murdoch was so memorable. That was excellent. Mike Bailey's was crazy. Sawyer Wreck was star making. It was just Drew Parker was a shit show. It was very, very entertaining. He did very, very well for those matches. Jonathan Gresham, every match Jonathan Gresham had in GCW in 2022 were incredible. Same can be said for Mike Bailey and even Axton Ray. Every time Axton Ray's in there, he's putting on a show. Same with Too Hot Steve Scott. They're just putting on insane work with in GCW. Bussy, Big Gay Brunch installments were just top tier as well. Those were always worth tuning in. You can't go wrong with those. It was just really well done. Let's see. H2O, Hardcore Hustle Organization, is the next one up here. We got. Did I have? Yeah, we got Piss Jug Mike as well. I wanted to give a shout out. I think I forgot to actually put the picture, so here it is, a little bit late. Sorry about that. Piss Jug Mike was one of the highlights of 2022 in wrestling for sure. He every match for a little while there in the general area of Detroit and area, he was at with that jug of who knows what it might be, but it was pretty great. Drink the piss chants, you sick fuck, it was just excellent stuff. Murdoch versus Janella, Knuckles versus someone, Mickey Knuckles versus someone. It was just so good. It was so good. Awesome. All right, now we're gonna talk about Hardcore Hustle Organization for a sec here. Love H2O. It's one of my favorite promotions. Their future is so good. They got young guns like Marcus Mathers, Austin Luke, Reed Walker. They started booking Manders more. Gigi Everson, Ryan Redfield, Jess Moss, Declan Grant, Duncan, America runs on Duncan Aleem, Rocket. They got a couple of other really good guys. They're just they're OGs as well. Have been doing great work. So their big monthly shows are always a must watch for me. The this year's Marcus Mathers versus Austin Luke feud was incredible storytelling. Friends turned bitter enemies. Light tubes, and that you wouldn't be expecting that. Their I Quit match on June 25th was crazy. Matt Tremont and the Angels of Death storyline with Kennedy Copeland was just great. Culminated in the War Games with the leader, first the leader and then the War Games. Like, it was just perfect build, great payoff. Like, it was just so well told. They just good storytelling, great, incredible storytelling in H2O with Colby Carino. So many other matches as well were great in H2O. Brandon Kirk, Jeff Cannonball, of course Tremont, Tara Calloway, Mickey Knuckles, Colby Carino, and a lot of other people really showed up on a regular basis to put on a great show every time. Like, just wicked stuff. It's always good. And speaking of IWTV, to close out the year, they had the Restival. So there was the Collective for GCW as well. I forgot about that. Collective during WrestleMania. But the Restival on IWTV was pretty sweet to finish off the year as well. Matt Tremont won the IWTV title. Miracle Generation and Anthony Henry were crazy. I would highly recommend checking out any of Anthony Henry's matches from the Restival. Okay. So now we're gonna get into the top federation, WWE and AEW and Impact Wrestling, NWA, any of the top federation matches that I really enjoyed this year. Now, all of these matches that I list in the next section here of my matches of the year will be listed below in the description. So if anybody's checking out these things, they can, what do you call those? The freaking thing where you can click at the bottom. I don't fucking know what those called. You know what I'm talking. People know what I'm talking about. You click that shit, they'll all be in the bottom in the description. So we had Walter versus Sheamus September 3rd at Clash of the Castle. That was pretty great. Drew versus Roman as well at Clash had a lot of emotion. I was really hoping that Drew would pick that one out, but especially in the UK. Walter versus Dragunov was probably the second best WWE match of the year. But it was really good. July 22nd episode of NXT UK. MJF versus Darby Allin at AEW Full Gear 2022, November 19th. So that was a pretty good match as well. At the opener, those were crazy. So, bang. We had Jay and Mark Briscoe, the Briscoes, versus Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, FTR. They did a trilogy of matches in 2022. They did ROH Supercard of Honor, April 1st. ROH Death Before Dishonor, July 23rd. And ROH Final Battle on December 10th. And I think all three of them would be worth watching together, because they did tell a good story over the course of the three matches. Even though the first match was kind of meh, the second and third really make up for it. And then the trilogy as a whole deserves to be appreciated as a whole. CM Punk versus MJF's dog collar match at AEW Revolution, March 6th. That was wicked. I think that was most definitely worth a shout out. And Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay, Forbidden Door, June 26th was pretty good as well. I really enjoyed that. Not the match I expected them to have. And then, like I said earlier, there's many IWRG Lucha tags on the YouTube Mosh Lucha that happened in 2022. Just insane Lucha tags. The first time I saw Commander this year, I think, was on there. And in AAA, Bandito and El Hidro de Vinquillo has been doing incredible stuff as expected, as usual. So those are always worth checking out as well. Now we're gonna get into now we're gonna get into Japan matches. So we had quite a few really good matches this year in Japan and worldwide. This is going to be actually Japan and worldwide. Now, I didn't include Mexico, but it's pretty good. We got Keno versus Kaito Kiyomiya. This is the January 1st one. But I'm going to say January 1st and September 25th. Both of his matches were really great. So I would highly recommend those. We had Go Shiozaki versus Katsuhiko Nakajima on January 1st as well. That was brutal stuff. I would highly recommend. These two go hard. Then there was a Big Japan Pro Wrestling match, Yuji Okabayashi versus Takuya Nomura. So the tag team gets together. I don't think this was as good as their one of their previous matches, but I think it was crazy stiff, and it's still one of the stiffest matches of the year. So I'd put it up here just for that. Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay, January 5th, Wrestle Kingdom. This was really good. I really enjoyed this match. Looking back on it over the course of a whole year, you get a little bit different perspective on it. At the time, I was kind of like, this is crazy. And over the course of it, kind of was like balanced out. Pretty good match, though. 100% recommend. AZM versus Starlight Kid Stardom in February 23rd. This was for the high-speed title. This one was really good. I would highly recommend this as well. Stardom's just, this whole list could just be Stardom. They're honestly that consistent. All right, we had Konosuke Takeshita versus Tetsuya Endo, March 20th from DDT Pro. It was really good match. This was the match that, it was really solid. It was just like, wow, one of those matches. Solid shots, they weren't messing around. It was good stuff. And then we got another Big Japan match. I mean, literally, you can watch the same 6 guys in Big Japan wrestle each other every year. And I don't get tired of it because they're just so stiff. But this was from Big Japan, of course. Yuji Okabayashi versus Daisuke Sekimoto from May 5th. New Big Japan show, Welcome Back. And it was exactly what you'd expect. But I don't believe it was as good as possibly one of their other matches. It would take some looking back on all of their matches because they've wrestled so many times. I believe they're at like, they may be nearing 10 or over. It's pretty crazy, but this one was very good. And okay, speaking of good, from GLEAT promotion, El Lindemann, in the middle of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, goes and has a near match of the year with Shigeru Iri, Big Shig, on May 18th. This was absolutely insane. I would highly recommend this match. This one was all over the place craziness. Instant fan of GLEAT. Just great promotion, great match. Then we got another Big Japan match here. Yuji Kobayashi and Daisuke Sekimoto. No, that was earlier. This is Astronauts versus Strong BJ from June 27th. So this is the tag team I was talking about earlier with Takuya Nomura and Yuji Kobayashi. They're facing the Astronauts. This is the opening round of the tag tournament on June 27th. Now this is just, you can watch these two tag teams wrestle each other, like I said, every single time. And it's insanely stiff, and it's just be one of the craziest matches you'll ever see. That's just what Big Japan's strong division offers when these guys are facing each other over and over. You just get craziness. Now this is a Best of the Super Junior match that I was talking about earlier from New Japan Pro Wrestling. El Phantasmo versus Robbie Eagles, Korakuen Hall, Like I said, Best Distributor, May 26th. It was very, very good. I would highly, highly, highly recommend this one. This was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And then we got, I got a little Mizuki segment here where I want to talk about how Mizuki just did amazing this year with Hyper Misao. I don't have a picture of Mizuki, actually. I have just a picture of Hyper Misao. But Hyper Misao versus Mizuki on September 10th and October 9th from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Incredible. They just did a wicked, wicked job. Both matches were just off the rails, hilarious, and well put together. So I really, really enjoyed them. And then we got another Tokyo Joshi match, Shoko Nakajima versus Yuka Sakazaki. They wrestled twice in 2022, and both matches were absolutely awesome. June 12th and October 9th. I believe I only have the October 9th one here for some reason. I don't know why. Whoopsies. No, that's my mistake. But it was very, very, very good. So I would highly recommend. What else we got? Miyu Watanabe versus Yuka Sakazaki, another Tokyo Joshi Pro. August 14th, it was the finals of their singles tournament. This was so emotional and crazy. Miyu Watanabe giving her all, like, oh man. This one is good. That was a good match. It was a good match. Speaking of a good match, this is a little bit, some people didn't think this was a good match. A little bit polarizing, this one. But for me, this one was crazy. This was Kaito Kiyomiya versus Timothy Thatcher, November 10th. This was so long they got time. It was a technical masterpiece. I just really, really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job. But, like I said, some people didn't really enjoy it too much. It was great. Speaking of great, holy crap. Okay, now we're getting into, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Higuchi's title run. His title run has been incredible. Ever since he won the belt from the tournament, him versus Takeshita, him versus Kazushi Sakuraba, and him versus Yuki Ino were just so good. Like, highly, highly recommend anything that Higuchi has done in terms of since he became champion. He's just star. He's just an absolute star. And DDT is so good. He's been so great. Yeah, 100% recommend any of those defenses, whether it be the one against Konosuke Takeshita, Yuki Ino, or even the crazy one he had with Kazushi Sakuraba. They're so good. Those are my three favorite ones, but he's had some just, even when he's in a tag match, he's just such a star now since he won the belt. Like, his confidence is through the roof. He's doing so good. So, wicked stuff. And like I said, speaking of wicked stuff, Stardom's 5-star Grand Prix Finals, Julia versus Tam Nakano on October 1st. This was, like I said earlier, Julia wins, but holy crap, she would not be denied. It was insane. And this was such a good match. They just laid it all on the line. And the tournament culminating the way it did with so many women, it was almost like a super tie as well. It was pretty good. Now, I want to talk about Miyu Yamashita and Millie McKenzie. They had a trilogy that was pretty dang good. They had 3 matches, trilogy, so they had October 22nd and November. October 22nd was in Barcelona, Spain. And then November 13th was for Pro Wrestling Eve. And then Tokyo Joshi Pro, they had the final match on November 27th. It was, it was just so good. Definitely worth checking out this trilogy. All 3 matches, they just it progresses and it just gets so good. Another match from that same November 27th show was Yuka Sakazaki versus Billie Starkz. Billie Starkz became the youngest gaijin or foreigner to ever main event Korakuen Hall. It was wicked. Such a sick match. They went at it, and it was really good. It was a good match. I didn't expect Starkz to win, but holy crap, she put up a good fight. And Julia versus Suri later on in the year, following that victory over Tam Nakano on October 1st, she faced Suri December 29th at Dream Queendom in a match. It was so good. It was so good. Excellent storytelling. The big moves. Not a slow pace. They just did a really good job. It wasn't like a typical main event type structure. It was just very well done. And Julia came up on top, red belt. It was wicked stuff. And we also had from Freedom's Drew Parker versus Jun Kasai at Freedom's Christmas Day event. It was really good match. Freedom's probably had a bunch of other matches that I didn't get, but that's for Japan and what I thought were the pretty good matches. All right, now for the USA top matches, we got Jimmy Lloyd versus Matt Tremont at VXS February 17th. This was a pretty wild match. Lot of glass. It was like almost the whole year until something even topped this in terms of craziness. It was a very good match. Insane 8 was a really good tournament as well. So much fun. They did a really good job for Insane 8. Really liked it. And speaking of this, I think that I omitted this from my one earlier so I could put it in this one, but WWE's match actually made my top actual matches. And not just like, oh, I'm going to put these because they're the good matches from the Fed, but like literally my actual good matches of the year. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Hell in a Cell, June 5th. This was probably the best and most realistic storytelling that I've ever seen in wrestling, with his arm and pec literally out. And he, it's just wild. It's just, look at that. That's so wild. Must see match by absolutely everybody. An absolute masterclass in storytelling. All right, and then from Beyond Wrestling, we got Alec Price versus BF Busick, June 12th at Please Come Back. That was such a good match. This was one of my favorite matches of the year. And then we got, speaking of another favorite match of the year, holy crap, this was so good. GCW's TOS Finals, Tournament Survival Finals, June 4th. This is what I was talking about earlier. Matt Tremont versus Drew Parker. Drew Parker did victorious. Jesus, it was so good. And the next day, Cage of Survival, June 5th. Alex Colon, John Wayne Murdoch. This is unbelievable. Like, holy jeez, they went ham. And then speaking of going ham, holy jeez, this year there was such a good 4 match series feud between Anthony Henry and Adam Priest. Mostly in Action Wrestling. There was one of them in Uncharted Territory, but so good. So we had January 21st, Action Wrestling Lords of Chaos. Or no, January 20th, Lords of Chaos. Then we had this Uncharted Territory one, which was July 18th. And then October 7th and December 2nd. October 7th at Action Wrestling. Then the same one, December 2nd, Action Wrestling. One of them was a crazy... was it this one? I'm not sure. One of them was wild, like freaking wild. And then they were all wild. This has been such a crazy feud this year. Unbelievable feud that certainly deserves some eyes. Yeah, this one was no ropes, no DQ to start off the year. craziness. It was so good. Adam Priest is a beast, and Anthony Henry is just showing out every time he wrestles. This was so good. Speaking of so good, oh yeah, GCW's game. They did the Settlement series. Basically, it's a bunch of series where they were basically putting shows on IWTV because they illegally took their show to fight, so they had to do some sort of like restitution. But on this card, there was a match between Brogan Finley and Billie Starkz, September 3rd. Oh my goodness. It was, she got busted open the hard way, I believe, which just made the match incredible. And they just went all out and they went hard. It was really, 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 really good. So I'd highly recommend that one. And from Era of the Unexpected, Expect the Unexpected, April 16th, there was a match between Shazza McKenzie and Danny DeManto. That was just crazy. Was not expecting Shazza McKenzie to do a crazy match like that. Taking this crazy bump off the top. The DeManto driver, it was sick. It was that was a good match. And then there was the Ultraviolent Vortex, is a mystery show that ICW does, where they just throw together a bunch of stuff. But the main event of the show was a 4-way death match with Sadika, Krule, and Mickey Knuckles. It was absolutely insane. So that was 100% August 20th. I think this was one of the craziest matches. That was so crazy. And then Brad Hollister versus Brad Hollister versus Alec Price. This was crazy. This was not. They ended up having like a hardcore submission match, May 26th at Wrestling Open. It was just so good. It was just unreal. Prestige Roseland 3, Akira versus Drexel. Oh yeah. May 29th. Yeah, just so good. These two are just so crazy, so when they face each other, it's just insanity, right? Like, oh my god. Katsuko Nakajima versus JR Kratos from King of the Indies, West Coast Pro. It was November 19th. It was so good. They didn't get enough time, but they just told such a good story that I was like so invested. A really good match that I wish would have gotten more time. There was Tournament of Death this year, won by Bobby Bev. TOD 19. Tournament of Death 19. It actually happened. Hopefully next year they can get it done in the summertime, but it's pretty cool to see. This was probably one of my top matches of the year. Marcus Mathers had so many good matches this year between his one with Austin Luke, their I Quit match on June 25th, and then he also had this match with Jordan Oliver in December. His year has been insane. December 10th was this one against Jordan Oliver. Yeah, Marcus Mathers versus Jordan Oliver. Expect the unexpected. This was incredibly good. Like, they got a lot of time. They were able to tell a pure, really good story. No bullshit, no roll up. Like, it was really good. Really good match. This was definitely one of the top matches of the year. And then Matt Tremont's year in general was just crazy. Like, he wrestled so many people this year. Between, like, see, look at this. Billie Starkz. He wrestled, what we got? We got Schlack versus Drake Younger from XPW. That's actually was like, they broke a lot of glass. So I'm going to have to put that up here just because they broke so much glass. Unbelievable. But yeah, no, Matt Tremont, unbelievable. Like, his work with Krule, work with Big FN Joe, his work with Colby Carino, his, yeah, like, look at that. Look at his face. He means business. Colby Carino. And then he did a 200 light tube at the end of the year as well. He did one to start the year, and he did one at the end of the year. And he said this one was going to be his last one at the end of the year as well. So that's pretty insane if it is. And it was wild. He took so many shots. So pretty damn good matches of the year this year. Alright, so now we're just going to go a quick little rip through. I really thought Mike Bailey had a solid year. Mike Bailey versus Brian Keith on December 16th. Josh Alexander, November 19th. Jonathan Gresham, October 23rd. Yamato, October 9th. Masha Slamovich, September 9th and May 21st. Kylie Ray, September 2nd. Leon Slater, that one was so good. August 21st. Ospreay, August 20th. Austin Luke, August 15th. Jacob Fatu, August 18th. Tony Deppen, July 29th and January 15th. Francesco Akira, July 23rd. Axton Ray, July 10th. Starboy Charlie, July 8th. AC Mack, June 6th. Sonico, May 28th. Ares, April 29th. Titus Alexander, April 15th. Minoru Suzuki, April 10th. Davey Richards, April 2nd. Alec Price, March 25th. Nick Wayne, March 11th. Ninja Mack on February 25th with the ridiculous spot. ACH on February 11th. And Daniel Garcia at the Battle of Los Angeles on, I believe, January 30th. He just had a stacked year. And when I say stacked, that's an understatement. Speedball Mike Bailey had an incredible year. And Alec Price, the Prize City OG, the Northeast Beast, the ace of IWTV. He had great matches as well. Highly recommend any Alec Price match from 2022. Jon Moxley, the ace of AEW. He went and did death matches when he didn't need to in GCW. He was doing glass spots, panes of glass, craziness. He was going hard. He was blading every match. He was literally carrying AEW on his back. So huge shout out to Jon Moxley. And then we got Akira. So Akira has been so consistent. Every match Akira has is just wicked. It's just something about him, you know. There's just something about him. There's something in his blood and in his oxygen that makes him ridiculous. He's just a beast. He's one of a kind. Akira, newer to the business as well, is just flourishing and doing fantastic. AC Mack has to be on this list for this year that he had. In general, he's been so good. He's evolved as a wrestler, I think, with that title run. And he's become so much more confident than he was the couple of times I saw him in 2021. So, really impressed with his work. He's been so good. And Russian Dynamite Masha Slamovich. Every single time she wrestles, my girlfriend gets hyped. She is a beast. Like, there's no other thing to say. Like, what else do you say about Russian Dynamite? She's a beast. And I can't wait to see more. Now, William Ospreay, this guy has reinvented himself from a high-flying spot fest guy to a really hard-hitting, technical, storytelling wrestler. It's crazy. He's evolved so hard in 2022. 2021, 2022, it's just amazing. He's had so many good matches, elevated the U.S. title. He's just done lots. Suri Kondo, this woman has carried Stardom for most of 2022. I think all of 2022. She did great. She had so many good matches. She's just that classic, star that they got. They got a lot of stars over in Stardom. A wicked year. And Miyu Yamashita, that's pretty straightforward. She has a wicked style. Her excursion, really good stuff. Just really, really good matches all around. Great stuff with Millie McKenzie. Wicked stuff in TJPW all the time. Just great. Then we got Roman Gaines. the ace of WWE, the guy carrying the brand. Without him, man, there's not too much going on. So, for sure, shout out to Roman Reigns. And then Matthew Tremont, man, holy crap, he had such a good year. Every one of his matches in 2022 were insane. He was putting that effort in and really going hard. Really great year for him. Like, stand out. And got Adam Priest as well. Like I said, he was going hard this year with his one of the best heels in the business, as well as one of the great workers. Just wicked, wicked, wicked stuff from him as well. We're getting into tag teams. I'm going to shout out a couple of tag teams here. We got Violence is Forever. Definitely my favorite tag team of the year. Bussy. Bussy did incredible work this year with the GCW tag belts, with Majisos and all the other tag teams all around. It's great work. And the Usos. We also got to shout out the Acclaimed and all those other tag teams all around. There's a lot of tag teams on the indies doing great work as well, like Above the Rest and Workhorse, man. Like, there's so many teams on the indies as well. Miracle Generation. There's so many, like Main Event, Waves and Curls. There's so many on the indies. Bang Bros had so many good matches. Like, it's just, but the Usos were carrying WWE. So, what are we going to do here? Yep, so now, basically, these are my top promotions of the year. I really enjoyed Wrestling Open. Every week, they're such good quality. ICW No Holds Barred. Every time they put on a show, it's top tier. GCW has been spotty, but always providing very good mix between deathmatch and pure wrestling on the same show. So I appreciate that. DDT Pro Wrestling, just the king of variety. Stardom, there's nothing like that. Stardom is just Stardom. H2O is storytelling at its finest. Great wrestling, good up-and-coming stars. Love H2O. And action wrestling. Every time I watch an action wrestling show, I'm always very, very impressed by what's going on. They always do a really good job. So, for that, I want to say my most improved wrestlers of the year, besides a couple of guys here and there in the indies, of course, doing great, but I want to say Haruna Nico, her cat gimmick, she has been doing very well. We have Sexy Lino has been so good. Yuki Sexy Lino in Pheromones with Dansky Dino and the rest. He's fit in so well. They've started using his theme song for the faction now. He is basically the star of the faction now. He's incredible. I think Naomi Yoshimura, from DDT, has been doing wicked work. I think Yukio Naya is also really, really improved. As for Rookies of the Year, a lot of people said Braun Breaker for WWE, which I agree is pretty up there. Takumi Fujiwara, the guy in the middle, from Dragon Gate, he had a shitload of matches this year, a lot of which I really enjoyed. He's looking great. Like, he just looks like he's going to be something real good. And Brogan Finley on the indies, on the left here. Brogan Finley looks like he's going to be something as well. You know, them Finleys, they love to fight. But I also think a couple of other guys have been coming up. It'll be interesting to see how Yoda Tsuji comes back from the UK for his excursion. We got some underrated wrestlers here. I really like Uptown Andy Brown. Where's Uptown Andy Brown? Uptown Andy Brown's right here. Yep, top left. And then we got Brad Hollister, bottom left. I really like CPA right in the middle. I think CPA is super underrated. He's so good. And Big Boofa, Desmond Cole on the right. I also really like Jess Moss, and Kevin Kelly, the announcer, has to call so many shows on his own. It's actually unreal. He has to call so many of those New Japan Pro Wrestling shows on his own. So, shout out Kevin Kelly, man. He's great. Then my favorite heels, or the best heels I think in wrestling right now, are Ray Jazz on the left, Dominic Mysterio on the top, MJF, you guys know them, Jay White, and we got Brother Greatness as well in the middle. I think he's excellent heel. And my girlfriend really liked Billie Starkz, Masha Slamovich, Sawyer Wreck, Willow Nightingale, Edith Surreal, Randy West, Casey Kirk or Catal, the women representation in wrestling, the Big Gay Brunch, watching them women kick ass week after week. She really remembers her first time seeing Krule, and she really remembers Hoodfoot getting sliced open, which makes sense. So, quite a bit of stuff this year happened, but I really enjoyed Marcus Mathers and a lot of other wrestlers. Like every time they're on my screen, I'm really happy, right? Like, so what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna throw all of these services that I use to watch wrestling in the comments, or in a pinned comment, and in the description, and then I'll hopefully you guys can check out some of these matches. A lot of these are really worth checking out. So, and I'll also, like I said earlier, I'll put all the names of all the matches in the description that I mentioned in this video. So, all right, I think that's pretty much it for wrestling in 2022. Pretty quick little look over, not too in depth, but enough for that you can get a kind of idea of what I really enjoyed during the year. There's been quite a bit, like I said, it's always so stacked. So, yeah, thank you so much, and it's been an hour of 2022 in review with pro wrestling. Necro Eric. Catch you guys in the next one. For pro wrestling, my girlfriend, take care. Peace in the Middle East.